CBS 4 Washington correspondent Raquel Martin joins us now from Washington, D.C. with more on our top stories. Raquel, catch us up now on where things stand today with the impeachment process.
Well, today, lawmakers in the House went forward with trying to call on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment. So we haven't made it to impeachment just yet. Democrats are saying first they want Vice President Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment, which would remove the president, or they'll just go ahead and impeach the president tomorrow. So they're saying they have enough support to impeach the president at this point. But right now, they're holding out to see if the vice president may take some sort of action. But what we're hearing from Republicans at this point is that the vice president has no interest in invoking the 25th Amendment.
Yeah, it sounds like what we've sort of been hearing about that. But is there anything else that we can expect for tomorrow in terms of what happens on Capitol Hill?
Well, we're going to have to see how the debate goes tonight when it comes to the plan that they're going to vote on tonight when it comes to the 25th Amendment. Tomorrow, they will return to Capitol Hill, House lawmakers. They'll start at 9 a.m., but it's unclear exactly what time they'll take a vote on that impeachment resolution. We know there is one article of impeachment that they'll be voting and debating on, and that accuses the president of inciting violence at the U.S. Capitol.
Raquel, we've seen the reports that Vice President Mike Pence and the president finally did meet last night to talk. What do we know about what was covered in that conversation?
Well, much of the details remain unclear exactly what went on between the vice president and the president behind closed doors. But we know that the president's close allies for some days now have been saying that the president needs to focus on the positive aspects of his administration. We know he headed down to the southern border today to toot his positive outcomes when it comes to the southern border. So it looks like he is taking the advice of his vice president and others close to him at this time to try to pivot away from the negative conversation surrounding the U.S. Capitol attack. And we do know that at this point, based on what Republicans are saying, the vice president is not interested in trying to remove the president from his office.
Let's talk about security right now in Washington, D.C. We're hearing that there are National Guard troops that have been deployed there. What are you seeing as you cover this area? What is it feeling like in Washington, D.C.? What are you seeing things kind of ramping up in terms of security?
Definitely seeing things ramp up here around the Capitol. We saw that there was a fence put up at the beginning of the week. That fence is now being built out even further to get the full perimeter of the Capitol building. We're also hearing of metal detectors being placed outside the House chamber to check anyone who might be going in and out of the House chamber. And of course, we are hearing more law enforcement planning to surround the Capitol building in the next coming days. We know Inauguration Day is now 8 days away, and there are credible threats to that inauguration based on what we're seeing online and what federal law enforcement and local law enforcement are citing. So we are seeing really things rev up here in Washington, D.C. ahead of credible threats.
All right, Raquel Martin in Washington, D.C., thank you for bringing us up to speed. We'll check back with you tomorrow.